When I first moved to Milwaukee, I realized there were some driving differences from where I grew up in the Northeast. Now these were more nuances than drastic changes, but they did take a little getting used to. So here are 3 things I learned about riding in the Milwaukee area.
The first are offset turn lanes. As you ride through the Milwaukee area, you will see standard intersections, including ones with a separate left turn lane. But you might not be familiar with what are called offset left turn lanes. Offset or protected turn lanes offer additional protection and a better line of sight than standard left turn lanes and help reduce accidents. The only downside is that you'll need to enter the left turn lane before you get to the intersection, meaning that if you decide to turn left once you get to the light, it's too late. The next are roundabouts. The first roundabouts were constructed in the U.S. in 1990 and continue to gain in popularity. While they're not common in all states, Wisconsin has more roundabouts on their state roads than any other state in the U.S. So if you're riding here, chances are you'll come across one sooner or later. The premise is simple. You slow to the speed limit, usually 15 to 20 miles an hour, and wait for an opportunity to enter, keeping in mind that the traffic in the roundabout has the right of way. Once you have an opening, you can enter, and while you're in the roundabout, you have the right of way. Though they take a little getting used to, they have greatly reduced head-on and T-bone collisions to more survivable side swipes. And while that still may not be a pleasant thought as a rider, considering that 42% of motorcycle accidents involve a car turning into the path of a motorcycle, and 70% of accidents occur at an intersection. So you might start seeing roundabouts as a step in the right direction. And finally, there are the metered highway ramps. This was perhaps the biggest eye-opener for me. Honestly, the last place I thought I would see a traffic light was at the entrance to a highway. After all, I was taught that the entrance ramp was where you accelerated to match highway speeds, not come to a stop. But after that initial shock, I got used to them. Even though they may seem counterintuitive, they help with traffic flow. Using sensors ahead of the entrance ramp to gauge traffic volume and speed, they individually release vehicles into the traffic flow rather than having one group trying to merge with another. In other words, the metered system has done much of the work for you. You just have to be aware of it and follow its direction. And yes, motorcycles are allowed in the HOV lane even if they only have one occupant.
I hope this short video helps with your next ride in the Milwaukee area, because knowing what to expect can make it safer and more enjoyable. I'm Bruce, and you're riding with a local.